bittersweet today. It's the Odd Weekdays of February. It's part 10. It's the final part of this series. And boy, time flies when you're having fun. But we're discussing art. There's no fun in art. There's no time in art. There's no flying in art. Just ask Timothy Leary. Just disregard all that. Let's go to our first quote for today. What has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done. There is nothing new under the sun. The wise words of a wise man spoken 3,000 years ago. And that's King Solomon from the Torah, from the Hebrew Torah, or we can say it's from the Old Testament. Let's go back less than 200 years ago. We're going to see nothing really changes. It's Sir Joshua Reynolds. Invention, strictly speaking, is little more than a new combination of those images which have been previously gathered and deposited in our memory. I think what's kind of happening here is something to do with creativity and invention, and how there's nothing new under the sun, and how everything that is new, modern, and trendy is always built on yesterday's model. So yesterday's model was new and trendy, and today we look back on it and we see it as an archaic relic. Let's think of a time in history when Henry Ford, well, he didn't invent the automobile or the internal combustion engine, and Henry Ford did not invent the assembly line, but what he did was he was already manufacturing automobiles. He went to Chicago, went to a meat packing plant, saw how they were using the assembly line, and he merged the two together, and the Ford Motor Company was starting to produce Model Ts quickly, efficiently, and inexpensively. And he is credited with innovation, and yet really all he did was take two things, the automobile, you get the point here. If I can chase after a squirrel here though quickly, funny coincidence, the internal combustion engine invented by a man named Niepce, him and his brother. Niepce, also one of the inventors of photography. Okay, let's go on to quote number 3 to bring this all to a conclusion. And so may the many other shifts of time and tide in the graphic arts be measured and chronicled upon the basis of the emotions and the formative touch of the poetic, upon the sequence of the artist's regard for the ideal and the real, and the degree of his approach toward either. The consensus of the ages regarding finish, dexterity, cleverness, and chic is that in the scale of art, they weigh less than the simple breadth of effect which they so frequently interrupt. Oh boy. Okay, Henry Poor is talking about creativity, about the trends of the day. I mean, creativity as photographers with websites, isn't that the buzzword we're supposed to put on our website? Like, we're creative, we're passionate about our creativity and stuff like that. And the concluding note here that Henry Poor is saying is it's yesterday's trend, and yesterday's trend was considered modern, but when we try too hard to become trendy, we kind of lose sight of really the heart of things, and that is the expression, the composition, and the way all of that comes together. It is the simplicity of it all. When we consider that this vinyl has replaced the iPod, which replaced the compact disc, which replaced the vinyl. It's kind of Bare Naked Ladies, track 2. It's all been done. That's really what Henry Poor is saying. And let's just first stick to the basics. And then if we have a great idea, by all means, we need to plug into that great idea and make it big. Show it off. But it will always come from yesterday's relic or the conventions of what make it, if that makes sense, doesn't it? It all makes sense. It's just that, again, the word, the cultivation that comes from studying art. The bittersweet ending of the Odd Weekdays of February. We've got things on the back burner, time to move them up to the front burner. Stick around, they'll be up and running soon. Thanks for dropping by. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.